better when they thought it would be worse. Here comes the officers asking for a search. They found no weapon, just only a dropper. Solid as a rock.
Man to man is so unjust. Children, you don't know who to trust. Your worst enemy could be your best friend, and your best friend, your worst enemy. Some will eat and drink with you. Then behind them sus upon you. Only your friend know your secrets. So only he could reveal it. And who the captain, let them wear it. Who the captain, let them wear it. Said I throw me con, me no call no foul. I say in cup, 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 clap, clap, clap. Yeah. Some will hate you, pretend they love you now. Then behind they try to eliminate you. But who jobless? No one curse. Thank God we're past the worst.
Remember the days of slavery. Remember the days of slavery.
Do you remember the days of slavery?
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 And the Beckles.
Do you remember the days of slavery?
And the work was so hard.
Do you remember the days of slavery?
And they used us.
Do you remember the days of slavery?
Till they refuse us. Do you remember the days of slavery? The big fat boat. We usually pull it, we pull it. We must pull it with shackles around our necks. Leave me and we sit so close. Do you remember the days of slavery?
Do you remember the days of slavery?
My brother feels sad,
Do you remember the days of slavery?
included my sisters too.
Do you remember the days of slavery?
Some of us survive,
Do you remember the days of slavery?
showing them that we are still alive.
Why my people suffer so bad? Oh, is it that should really be sad? Is it a misplaced melancholy? Why? Well, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My people may talk. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My God. Rise up, falling sufferers. Rise and take your stance again. He box and run away. We live to fight another day. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? You people me attack. It's politics time again now. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. It's the right and it's the duty of a citizen to vote. Fire burn them constitution. Long time it need a joke. Fed up of promises and hopeless hope. Ballot box must be empty. Vote house closed. No one arm, no one choose the color of them clothes now. But some just plain greedy. No matter how we teach, they'll forget easier. Look, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. We all shall vote, yeah, yeah, yeah. If it's Rasta, them talking. Look here, bloodshed from Rima. Down in the valley, can't me hear ya. Great John has become a gunman compound. No place for people with citizenship, Lord. Them crying relentlessly, yeah. People moving every minute, every hour. Gunshot falling like hell shower. Oh, yeah. Putting the nuclear power. It's politics time again. Well, are you gonna vote now? Good people may talk. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Ooh, 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 ooh.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right.
I like more trying to
stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight.
Preacher man, don't tell me heaven is under the earth. I know you don't know what life is really worth. It's not all that glitter is gold. After story had never been told, so now you see the light. Hey, stand up for your right. Come on,
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight.
most people think great God will come from the sky, take away everything and make everybody feel high. But if you know what life is worth, you would look for yours on earth. And now when you see the light, you stand up for your rights. Yeah.
Get up, stand up.
Yeah, yeah.
Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up.
Stand up.
Don't give up the fight.
A word from the wise, don't try to make life on your own. Remember that Jah just by your side. For I was a soul who was lost, and my life was in dismay. For among evil forces in which I played, guns and ammunition were my chosen way of life. With God-fearing people I chose to strive. For all of the lives that are taken, they can never be replaced. But still Jah chose to remember my face. Though I never lived like He wanted, I'm still mindful of what He taught me. So now I beg and plead, I'm on my bending knees. God, Father, you rescued me. I've got the scars to show. I barely made it along life's road. Cause when my life got dark, He was the only spark. He was the light at the end of the road. When I was a young boy, growing up in Augustown, we ate from the same pot. We were hydrants all around. From Gola to Colorado Corner, From rockers to jungle club tire.
Searching for food for the pot, and they'll do anything to fill that gap. Lord, in the streets it's getting hot, and the youth them I get so cold. Searching for food for the pot, but they'll do anything to fill that gap. As generation comes and grows, you got to make preparation while the youth them grow. It's what you reap, it's what you sow. The youth them are the light and the future, so when that's them, you know. If education is the key, now tell me why the big guys are make it so expensive for we. Give them the key or set them free. In the streets it's getting hot, and the youth them I get so cold. Searching for food for the pot, where they do anything to fill that gap. Whoa. In the streets it's getting hot, and the youth them I get so cold. Searching for food for the pot, where they do anything to fill that gap. Oh na na na, oh mama ma, oh mama na 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 na. You got to find a better way, 'cause when me looking at Babylon, me see a beautiful play. I saw the Gideon say, yeah. Our nation come together, know that King Selassie has the truth and the light and the way. Teach the people, lead them in the right way. 'Cause in the streets it's getting hot, and the youths them I get so cold. Searching for food for the pot, they'll do anything to fill that gap. Boy. In the streets it's getting hot, and the youth them I get so cold. Searching for food for the pot, they'll do anything to fill that gap. Yeah. You got to show the people there's still a bright way. Yeah. I know for sure the sun will come out today. Yeah. Vanities and illusion will have to fade away. Yeah. And all the wicked deeds are done, I know you got to pay. Yeah. 'Cause in the streets it's getting hot, and the youth them I get so cold. Searching for food for the pot, they'll do anything to fill that gap. Yeah. In the streets it's getting hot, and the youth them I get so cold. Searching for food for the pot, they'll do anything to fill that gap. As generation comes and goes, you got to make preparation while the youth them a grow. It's what you reap, it's what you sow. The youth them are the light and the future, let's send us them, you know. If education is the key, now tell me why the big guys they make it so expensive for we. Give them the key or set them free. Burn them all, yeah. Blame them, oh, 'cause I will never see, now we never stop. Burning these fires non-stop, yeah, oh, yeah. Alright,
All the leaders them a let the people down. Have them holding on to throwing them a drown. And the leaders them a let the people down. They always let the people wear a frown. And the leaders them a let the people down. Them trying to blame it on the dancehall and the artists and the sound. We got it to let the people down. Then as they get to use them on my sound. Yo, Babylon not speak them words, but we not love how them sound. Cause them see them wanna turn it in a gun town. No forget to you them turn in a gun clown. Gunshot a tear off them head crown. Boom. Well every other day and next body them found. Well in a them own a blood missy said them drown. Who them boy I really want take for clown. Them this last year I am a profound and say the leaders them a let the people down. Have them holding on to strong when them a drown. And the bigger heads and let the people down. They always let the people wave a frown. And the bigger heads and let the people down. Try to blame it on the dancehall and the artists and the sound. The bigger heads and let the people down. Down. Alright then, wow. Promises are comfort to a fool. Babylon I said them a go build more centers and school. I know me there to see a chair and decks, but less a stool, but less a yeah, will you hear me now? Oh Lord, you know this one here? Listen man. I'm tired of this miserable life. Tired of the worries and the problems and the strife. Tired of the things when they're not going to right. Oh, yeah. Tired of this miserable, Well, you know how hard me work. Every night me I kneel and me pray. Ask God to guide and protect me. Lead the ticket they on the right way. But everything I just fumble and crumble. Everything I just stumble and fall. I don't know where I'm gonna turn now. Oh Lord, please answer my call. Got me tired of this miserable life. Tired of the worries and the problems and the strife. Tired of the things when they're not going to rise. Oh yeah, tired of this miserable, Tired of this miserable life. Tired of the worries and the problems and the strife. Tired of the things when they're not going to rise. Oh yeah, tired of this miserable, Bill collectors, them can't stop chase me. Like a thief we jump over a fence. Well, them judge and jury, them find I guilty. Them telling me that I have no defense. Oh, I don't know when it's gonna be over. The straight and narrow path I choose. Although I know the righteous road is rugged, still sometimes I sing the blues. Cause me tired of this miserable life. Tired of the worries and the problems and the strife. Tired of the things when them not going to rise. Oh yeah, tired of this miserable, Tired of this miserable life. Tired of the worries and the problems and the strife. Tired of the things when them not going to rise. Oh yeah, tired of this miserable, A lot of people them use and abuse me for what little talent I got. Well, tell me why are some people so shady? Always promising things they have not. Well, me lady tell me she tired of waiting, and she just can't wait it no more. Now me woman she gone and she left me. Never felt so lonely before. Now me tired of this miserable life. Tired of the worries and the problems and the strife. Tired of the things when them not going to rise. Oh yeah, tired of this miserable, Tired of this miserable life.
Testing. Special good evening, everyone. Sawa on the Quasi. I'm asking everyone who are here for the political meeting and the Candlelight Vigil to start making your way to the front. We will commence very shortly, maybe within about 2 minutes. So we're asking everyone to start making your way to the front and start gathering. We will begin our program very shortly.
Tired of this miserable life. Tired of the worries and the problems and the strife. Tired of the things when they're not going to right. Oh, yeah. Tired of this miserable, Well, you know how hard me work. Every night me I kneel and me pray. Ask God to guide and protect me. Lead the ticket they on the right way. But everything I just fumble and crumble. Everything I just stumble and fall. I don't know where I'm gonna turn now. Oh Lord, please answer my call. Got me tired of this miserable life. Tired of the worries and the problems and the strife. Tired of the things when they're not.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to commence our public meeting here in Sawa, in the Quasi. We thank you all for coming out here today. And I ask that we all stand at attention.
Forged from the love of liberty in the voice of hope and pride, with boundless faith in our destiny.
and gentlemen, I ask you to remain standing as we invite for a prayer. And in fact, we will have 3 prayers being said. A Hindu prayer by Pandit Siudar San Maharaj, a Muslim prayer by Mr. Nizam Mohammed, and we will have Mr. Travis Williams offering prayers on behalf of the Christian faith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My brothers and sisters, let us all put our hands together, we close our eyes. We as a Hindu priest, we believe God is one, called by many names. So I ask you, those of you who are Christians, we pray for peace and happiness. Those of you who are Muslims, we also pray asking the Lord to bless. And those of you who are Buddhism, whatever religion you believe in, please just remember God is one. First of all, we pray obeisance to the Lord in his form as Ganapati, Vignaharan, Vigneshwarai. He is called Lambodhai, many names of the Lord, but he is the Son of God. And so today we invite this Lord into your life, into this spot at this time to bring peace and happiness to the very, very organization. My friends, let us all together as we bow our head in prayer. Hari Om Gananam Tva Ganapati Gwanghavamahe Priyanam Tva Priyapati Gwanghavamahe Vaso Mama Aham Jani Jaise Garbaham Shri Ganapati Devaya Namo Nama Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandham Pushti Varnam Urvarkameva Vandana Mrityo Mokshimamritam Mrityum Jai Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanno Vishnu Prachodrat Om Vishwadevaya Namo Namaha. May there be peace on this earth. May there be peace in the rivers, in the seas, in the ocean. May there be peace in this earth, my Lord. May this peace remain with you now and always. Thank you. Ashirvad Mangalam.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. On behalf of the Islamic community, I extend greetings of peace to everyone gathered here today. As we begin, I invite you to join me in the recitation of the Al-Fatiha. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. May God shower us all with his peace and blessings. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Almighty God, we lift up our nation, Trinidad and Tobago, to you. Grant us wisdom, courage, and integrity to the leaders and members of the People's National Movement as we move to serve our country. May their decisions be guided by justice, compassion, and a genuine love for all citizens. Bless our twin island nation with peace in our communities, prosperity in our homes, and unity among our people. Let us stand together across every divide, respecting our diversity and working for the common good. Heal what is broken, strengthen what is good, and lead us toward a future of a safer Trinidad and Tobago. Safety and opportunity and hope for every family. May Trinidad and Tobago flourish under the care of the peoples.
Thank you. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we thank Councillor Alicia Gift, of course, for offering prayers. And ladies and gentlemen, here at Sawa, at the Kweze, I see a sea of white as you have come out here in your numbers. And let me firstly start off by saying a special good evening. The Honorable Pennelope Beckles Robinson, political leader of the People's National Movement and the leader of the opposition. The Honorable Marvin Gonzalez, chairman of the People's National Movement and member of parliament for Aruca Lopino. We have the chairman of the Sawa Laventil Regional Corporation, Alderman Richard Walcott, other party officers, deputy political leaders, general secretary, members of parliament, senators, heads of local government corporations, local government representatives, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, specially invited guests, members of the media, those viewing live and listening on the radio. My name is Viash Nandlal, and I will be your chairman for this evening's public meeting, which will be followed by a candlelight vigil. And I want to thank all of you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming out here, because this is not just a meeting. By coming out here tonight, you all have decided to stand in solidarity. You have decided that you will stand in solidarity for the principles that define a free and democratic society. By doing so, your presence sends a powerful message to the people of Trinidad and Tobago that they will not surrender their freedoms. This evening, you will hear from several distinguished speakers, including the political leader of the People's National Movement and other members, as they stand in defense of your rights, freedoms, and democratic principles. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I introduce my first speaker, I just want to reiterate a saying that I saw, a quote. There is a saying that democracy dies in darkness. Tonight, through this vigil, through this public meeting, we will ensure that but you will hear the voices of many standing loud and proud in defense of our democracy. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a very packed and tight schedule. Of course, we have a time limit, so I will go straight into it. Our youth speaker is a counselor who we are pleased to welcome, someone who has been a strong advocate for youth and gender issues. Through her work, she continues to champion programs focused on youth development. She is your counselor for Barataria. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Councillor Kimberly Small.
Give praise, children. Give praise. Give praise, children. Yeah. Give praise. Give praise, children. Yeah. Give praise. Give praise, children.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Members of the People's National Movement, concerned citizens, NGO members, colleagues, and friends. I recognize Chairman Richard Walcott, Chairman of the Sawa Laventil Regional Corporation. This evening. Tonight, as I look across our gathering, I don't see politicians. I don't just see party supporters. I don't just see activists. I see citizens. I see mothers. I see fathers. I see young people concerned about their future. I am Kimberly Small, and today I am here as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. I'm a politician, yes. A councillor, yes. But today, I stand here in this vigil as a concerned citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, as is my right. A right to voice our opinions, a right to make a stand, a right to speak, a right to assemble, a right to question, and a right to protest if we choose to do so. Yeah? And let me be clear tonight. There's no one who can suppress or take these liberties from us. No government gave us those rights. No political party gave us those rights. No prime minister gave us those rights. And therefore, no government can take those rights from us. Those rights belong to the people. Well, I have a story to tell you all. I'm a Black Power baby. So my parents, they marched in the 1970s Black Power Revolution. They marched at a time when, I think you'll remember, brown paper bag. It depends on if you're going this way from the brown paper bag or that way, whether or not you'll be able to work in certain areas. My parents marched so that I could enjoy rights and opportunities and freedoms that many before them were denied. And before that, in the 1930s, we had the Butler and the Labor riots. And before that, in the 1800s, we had the Candlelight riots. So you see, in Trinidad and Tobago, it is not uncommon for our citizens to stand up and voice their like or dislike for certain situations and circumstances. The story of Trinidad and Tobago has always been a story of ordinary people standing up and saying, enough is enough. Our history didn't come from silence. Our freedoms didn't come from silence. Our democracy did not come from silence. And I want young people, the young people here today, to know that everything that we enjoy was paid for by someone who had the courage to stand up. And now it is our turn. We cannot allow this current government to use suppression and intimidation tactics to silence us. And today, we are at a critical juncture. It is a time that we make a stand. Of recent times, we have seen several different methods of slowly taking away our rights and infringing on our liberties. And this has been happening, creeping, on an incremental basis. You see, democracy isn't stolen from you overnight. It is removed on a creeping basis, and it depends on many actions. And to date, we have seen many worrying signs. One restriction here, one act of an intimidation there, one attempt to silence criticism. We have seen it with our Independence Day celebrations, attacked, cancelled. Our independent senators, their voices, attacked, discredited. Our voices on social media, attacked, censored. Our rights to assemble and protest, attacked and restricted. The tipping point, as we would have all seen, is that earlier it have rules for some and it have rules for others. Just last week, we would have noticed or witnessed some young, vibrant, not politically aligned young people standing up for a cause that they believe in. And whether you agree with their cause or not, that is not the point. The point is that they exercise what many believe is their democratic right to make their voices heard. And these young people were faced with police force, riot gear, and other intimidation tactics, to the point that 3 members of their group were arrested for breaking rules. That guess what? These rules didn't exist until the very next day. All you make it make sense. On the other hand, we witnessed another protest, one that many people, and I have to say, or it's alleged, was politically connected. I don't know, I know we would have seen the videos. And the response was very different. All you saw it, right? You all saw? So we ask, are the rules the same for everyone? Yeah, no? I'm going to ask again. Are the rules the same for everyone? No. Who are the rules for? Where are we going? We are heading down a slippery slope. And as young people, old people, everybody, it's time to take a stand, and it's time to take a stand now. We have organizations meant to protect and serve us, the citizens, and they are now being utilized to protect the powers that be from who? From us? The police belong to us, to we, the people. The institutions, they belong to us, we, the people. The democracy belongs to us, we, the people. Let's not get that confused. A government should never try to limit or suppress voices once they are not in agreement with them. Imagine, only imagine, you offer yourself up to run a country and you're unable to take criticism or advice from we, the citizens. So why even offer up yourself? That is your job. That is part of your job. It's like we give them the country to run and like they can't run it. When they have voices, they can't run it. When they have voices of dissent or people standing up for what is right, it is not because we don't like you. It is because we want you to do better for yourself and to do better for us. It's our democratic right to stand for what is right, and it's our right to criticize. Advice comes with this job. Public scrutiny comes with this job. Accountability comes with this job. You see, criticism is a part of democracy. Questioning is not disrespect. It is not dissent. It is accountability. Only tonight, I'm speaking to everybody, but I want to speak directly to young people. Young people, this is not somebody else's fight. This is your country. This is your democracy. This is your freedoms. This is your future. Some of us may think these things may not be affecting us, and we're going to sit by the sidelines and say, well, somebody else will speak. Somebody else will fight. But hear me tonight. If not us, then? If not now, then? Because today it may be one movement, but tomorrow it may be you. Today it might be one citizen, but tomorrow it may be. Today it might be one person, and tomorrow it may be. Young people, see this for what it is. You have rights, and you should be able to express yourself without being labeled gimmickry, political activists, grifters, and criminals. It is time for us, young, old, everyone, to move on from being spectators to being active citizens. Citizens involved in dictating what happens to our country, our land, our Trinbago. Because democracy is not a football match. We're not here as spectators. We are participants. We are stakeholders. We are owners of this nation and creators of our destiny. You have the right to determine and dictate what happens. This gives you more responsibilities. You are a part of the democratic process, voting one day. Voting one day is not just one aspect. We cannot sit by idly and allow these things to happen, especially as young people who have a vested interest in society, in the society we are shaping today for tomorrow. We have to be actively involved in shaping our country's future. And not just for, as they say, PNM people and PNM children, but for everyone, every single Trinidadian and every single Tobagonian. So tonight we stand in our vigil. We have our candles. And I want to say our candles not lit as yet. But a candle is a symbol of hope. A candle is a symbol of resistance. A candle is a symbol of light overcoming darkness, good overcoming evil. So, our candle's not lit, so I want you to raise your phones, raise your lights, let them shine. Yes, and I've seen them. Shine your lights, turn on the lights on your phones. So I seen, right, I want to say I see a light. I see a light. So I want you to raise your lights. Let them shine. Because there is light at the end of this tunnel. Let Trinidad and Tobago see that we are here. Let Trinidad and Tobago see that we are not afraid. Let Trinidad and Tobago see that we will not be silenced. And I want you all to say, we will not be silenced. Our voices matter. Our rights matter. And democracy matters. So tonight, let this government hear us, not with anger, not with violence, but with conviction, with courage, with determination, because people do not get what they deserve. People get what they have fought for. So tonight, we stand for democracy. We stand for freedom. We stand for fairness. We stand for Trinidad and Tobago. And I close. Y'all, there's a psalm, I say every single day when I walk into certain areas, when I go into my office, when I go into areas I'm uncomfortable with, I say it every single day. So I just want to say a little piece apart from it. I'm sure some of you may be familiar with it, and if you are familiar with it, I want to hear it as well. So, you will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only observe with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked. Yes. So tonight, our candles and our phones, all our lights, remind us of one simple truth. Darkness can never overcome light. As long as the citizens are willing to stand, willing to speak, willing to shine, there will always be hope for Trinidad and Tobago. May God bless you, and may God bless our democracy. I now invite the chairman of the Sawa-Laventil Regional Corporation, my chairman, Alderman Richard Walcott, to the rostrum. A little more for Richard Walcott, please, for Alderman Walcott. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Small. Chairman of the People's National Movement, Mr. Marvin Gonzalez. Deputy Political Leader, the political leader of the People's National Movement, and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Ms. Pennelope Beckles Robinson. Members of Parliament, members of Council, members of the San Juan Laventil Regional Corporation, mayors, chairman, welcome to the Kwesi. Welcome to the city of Sawa-Laventil. I welcome you tonight with love, but I also have some hurting within me. Because as we gather here tonight in our white and about to light our candles, our country is under attack. Our country, ladies and gentlemen, is under attack by a lady called Kamala Prasad Bisesa and her wicked UNC government. Our citizens are afraid. We are afraid to speak out because we are threatened day and night. We have crime all over this country, and we have a leader talking about busting head and what? Something about the market. What? Matic? That is our leader. That is our Prime Minister. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to go on to some matters that happened last week. You see, this government has started to attack local government. And it started the day they came into office. They started to attack local government. Last week, the 1st of this month, the first time in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, a local government body was given an eviction notice to leave in 1 month's time. The government of Trinidad and Tobago, through their agency, the MTS, told an elected council by the people that the corporation has to leave. Not only that, I will not go into all the details tonight, But we got a 2 months extension. In that 2 months extension, and that letter has gone to our attorneys, one of the criteria for that 2 months extension is that we must not speak to the media on the extension. That is democracy, Kamala Salvi style. And ladies and gentlemen, we have to stand up against that kind of wickedness from this woman who is pretending to be a prime minister. As I said, the undemocratic move by this government started in April of last year, when we in the corporation received not 1 cent for goods and services. It continues. It continues, ladies and gentlemen, that this government today, let me tell you what happened. Today, we received a letter from the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Local Government telling us that funding under our capital expenditure, $2 million, they take it away from us without any explanation. They form some sort of employment group, employing people for what they call it, community upkeep program. You know, they hire 1,000 plus persons and don't know how they're paying them. That money they took from us today. Well, that money they took from us today, ladies and gentlemen, is to pay those people. So we, ladies and gentlemen, have to stand firm in defense of our country, in defense of our democracy. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if we don't stand as a people, it will be taken from us and we will remain with nothing. So let us stand tonight with the People's National Movement. Let us wear our white. Let us put out our candle. And let us, ladies and gentlemen, call on the Master to come down and save Trinidad and Tobago. And he has started, ladies and gentlemen, because tonight, our political leader will lead the charge in defense of our democracy. So as I welcome you tonight, as I welcome you with love, with P&M love, I said, let us support Ms. Pennelope Beckles Robinson as we march, ladies and gentlemen, throughout Trinidad and Tobago to save our country. Ladies and gentlemen, the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago is here tonight. Let us welcome our political leader, our opposition leader, the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Let us welcome her in Sawa. So folks, we ready? We ready to stand up for defense of our country? We ready to walk with the PNM? We ready to walk with Pennelope Beckles? Well, let's gather together and let's come out and save Trinidad and Tobago. Great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we shall protect our country. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Walcott. And ladies and gentlemen, we have in the arena here tonight the political leader of the People's National Movement, the leader of the opposition, the Honorable Pennelope Beckles Robinson. Please welcome the political leader, the opposition leader here today, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, political leader. Welcome to Sawa. And look at this beautiful sea of white with the national flag rising out of the middle of it. Standing in defense of democracy, ladies and gentlemen, and no person better to lead the charge than the leader of the opposition, the political leader, the Honorable Pennelope Beckles Robinson. Ladies and gentlemen, we move forward in our tightly packed schedule, and I want to welcome young man who is making an impact, a political impact, and who's making a national impact. He is the deputy political leader of the People's National Movement, an attorney, an advocate. I want to welcome to the podium to address you, ladies and gentlemen, Senator Sanjeev Boodoo.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. And I spare no moment. I recognize the leader of the opposition, Mrs. Pennelope Beckles Robinson. And I recognize our chairman of the regional corporation, all other protocols observed, members of parliament, and of course, members of local government. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening we are here to talk about the fact that we are under a state of deception. It's not only a state of emergency, ladies and gentlemen. We are under a state of deception. A state where we are led by people bent on misleading us. And to put it quite simply, ladies and gentlemen, they're just too lied. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been trying to make sense of the current situation in Trinidad and Tobago. We are under a perpetual state of emergency since government has changed. But what have been the results of this SOE? What is the effect of it? Ladies and gentlemen, the only effect that this SOE has had is against the law-abiding citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, not against the criminals. And the government boasts that crime is down. But I ask myself, well, which part? Where are they living? Does any person here in this audience tonight feel any safer since the government has changed? Left, right, center, north, east. There are murders continuing in broad daylight, shooting, robberies, kidnapping, extortion. Every day, every part of this country. Man, woman, child, preacher, and Bajan alike. But they are saying to us that crime is down. The only restrictions, true restrictions, that this SOE has introduced are restrictions on the activities and lives of us law-abiding citizens. Don't speak. Don't protest. If you protest, don't protest in certain places. Could you imagine? We as people of this country are prohibited from protesting in Woodford Square. That is the cradle of resistance itself. So ladies and gentlemen, we are reaching where we're going, you know. We're reaching. We ain't reached yet, thank God. But we're reaching if we do not act as people. So given that this is the current position of this country, I've been trying to figure out why. Why would a government continuously say divisive, hateful things to the people? Why would they be adding fire to the fuel that is burning? Adding fuel to the fire that is burning? Why would they refuse to make simple adjustments, to put in simple measures to avoid more protests, to avoid more strikes, to avoid more pain and suffering that is being inflicted upon the people of this country? For example, since Thursday of last week, all of the maxi taxi associations have said, they announced, we are going to strike on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday next week. Thursday come and gone. Friday come and gone. Saturday come and gone. Sunday come and gone. Monday start, no intervention by the government. Instead, they hugging up and dancing and jamming to music whole weekend. And we saw the videos on social media. So I ain't making this up. It's celebration whole weekend. And I all happy for a good celebration, you know. But you know since Thursday that this issue is going to affect hundreds of thousands of law-abiding citizens in this country. And what have you done? Nothing. And I said to myself, it has to be that some secret meeting taking place between the minister and the Maxi Taxi associations, because I put myself in their shoes. I don't like to jump to conclusions, and I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. So I said, let me put myself in Minister Zakur's shoes. What would I have done if my Prime Minister was Pennelope Beckles Robinson? You know what I would have done as that minister? I'd have picked up the phone and I would have said, boss, Maxi is going on strike Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We cannot allow that to happen. I want to meet with them immediately. She would have said one of two things, ladies and gentlemen. She would have said, go and see them immediately, and settle what you could settle and be reasonable with them. But do not let that strike continue. Or she would have said, I'm coming with you. I'm going to meet them myself. That is what leadership is. That is what you could expect from Prime Minister Pennelope Beckles Robinson. So because I know these things would have happened when PM Penny is in office, I say to myself, well, that must have happened with them on that side. So I myself went down to Citygate at 6 o'clock Monday morning. Not a maxi in sight. So I know now, no meeting had happened. Worse than that though, not one minister was there in Citygate at 6 a.m., which is, we all know as traveling public, that's the time for all the action to happen down there. Not one minister. So the strike continue. 2 o'clock come, strike going on Monday. So and that means if you meeting at 2 o'clock, the best case scenario is the strike will call off Tuesday. So lo and behold, Monday come, no resolution, strike again Tuesday. And then this morning in the papers now, and I quote in the Guardian here, Patsad Bissessa told Guardian Media that she is encouraging the drivers to keep engaging with Minister Zakur after they have completed their 3-day strike. That is what the Prime Minister said in the newspaper today. But she is saying, when all you're done strike, come back and talk to Zakur. But that's a different kind of logic. You see, why would you want to pressure the traveling public? Employees, workers, students, sick people going to clinic. Why you want to pressure them that way? And then I thought it's the same thing with CPEP. You know tens of thousands of people are going home. And you know that because bush everywhere. But instead of saying to the people, we're going to hire you, we have something in place for you, you repeatedly say that it is ghost and shadow and zombie working in CPEP and URP. And you pretend that you didn't send the people home. Why would you aggravate the people that way and insult them that way? And I figured it out. Let me tell you why. There's a political theory being put in motion in this country right now. It's an experiment. This government is experimenting on us, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. This government has come up with the idea that a starving man does not fight for freedom. A starving man fights for bread. A starving man does not fight for democracy. A starving man fights to feed his family. And that, my ladies and gentlemen, is what tyrants do. Tyrants know that by taking away your livelihood, they take away your will to resist injustice. They take away your will to resist oppression. They take away your will to resist a blatant lack of accountability and transparency in government's conduct of the business of the people. That is why they are doing what they are doing. This government is on a mission to manufacture chaos and confusion in our society. Because in the midst of that chaos and confusion, in the midst of you not being able to travel to work, your children can't go to school, you not being able to comfortably put food on your table, in the midst of us as a people being rightfully concerned about the suppression of our constitutional rights, the arrests of lawful protesters, the restriction on your ability to gather and express your views at buildings and landmarks that all belong to you, the people of this country. In the midst of all of that, who is looking at HDC and the $3.4 billion? Under the distraction of headlines every day about SOE that instill fear within you, who is asking about the 100 million so and the next 150 million so in landmark TT? And the point is, ladies and gentlemen, when the government pressures us more and more and allows chaos and confusion to be the order of the day, they believe that we will be distracted and we will not be looking to hold them accountable for their raiding of the treasury, for the award of billion-dollar contracts to their friends and family. That is why they are taking no steps to take control of the out-of-control situation in this country. And that is why they make noise about Zoso when the whole country knows that they could have done every single thing that Zoso bill proposed to do right now under the SOE, and they have refused to do it. And that is why they have not done anything to address crime, jobs, healthcare, roads, water, nothing. Nothing has improved. It is only pressure and pressure and pressure. And while we're under pressure, they're laughing in Parliament and blowing in garbage bag. That is kicks right through. But what is joke for schoolboy is dead for crapo. And they don't realize that. They don't realize it's people's lives they are playing with. So ladies and gentlemen, we're under pressure, yes. But keep your eyes open. Continue to pay attention. Keep demanding answers from them. Give them back pressure to answer your questions. And most of all, ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of this meeting is for you not to give up. Do not despair. Do not lose hope. Continue the fight for proper and reasonable governance and responsible governance for all of us. Continue to stand up for what is right, Trinidad and Tobago. The future of this country is in your hands. It is at the tip of your right index finger. Trinidad and Tobago will either be saved or will be doomed to peril based on your decision. Your choice. Choose wisely. Ladies and gentlemen, may God bless each and every one of you, and may God bless Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you, Deputy Political Leader and Senator Sanjeev Budu. Ladies and gentlemen, as this sea of white continues to expand and stretch down to the end of the square here, I want to continue along with our program, and we have another distinguished legal mind who has dedicated his career and decades to advocating for the rights, the freedoms, and democratic principles of this country. I want to welcome quickly, with a brief introduction to the podium, ladies and gentlemen, Senator Larry Lala, Senior Counsel.
Good evening, and welcome to the Kweze in Sawa. We are here this evening because the government of this country has committed one of the most serious breaches of our fundamental rights that any government has ever committed on the eve of our 64th anniversary of independence. And it is a very, very serious issue. Allow me to say good evening to our honorable political leader, Mrs. Pennelope Beckles Robinson. And for the sake of time, because I'm limited in my time, allow me to stand on the very distinguished protocol list that has been established. And I welcome all of you here this evening. To drive home the point that I want to make about the seriousness of the issue that we're dealing with, I could find no better way to do it than to address briefly a case which was decided by our Court of Appeal only this year. That was a case done by my team and myself, and it concerned a gentleman from Debe who had gone outside of Woodford Square and stood with a placard during the state of emergency that took place during the COVID. When he was protesting, a police officer came up to him and stopped him from protesting. And he sued the state and won. And in the judgment that was given in that matter, I want to refer you and take you through just 4 paragraphs of the judgment for you to understand the seriousness and the importance, the magnitude of the issue that we are dealing with. In the judgment by Justice of Appeal Kokaram, he dealt with something called our voice, the voice of each and every one of you. And he said this: voice releases the soul. Voice giving expression to one's thoughts in various ways, which does not unduly interfere with the rights and freedom of others, enjoys a free space in the sacrosanct amphitheater of the fundamental human rights guaranteed by our Constitution. Look at the language that the Court of Appeal judge is using to describe our rights. He said, voice in a Caribbean society emerging from the receding shadows of colonial rule, voicelessness shapes identity. He is saying that under colonial rule we were voiceless, but we now have a voice. This government wants to take us back to the colonial days, and they want to take away our voice. Will we allow that? He goes on to say, the freedom to publicly express one's opinions, needs, desires, goals, recognized in our Constitution as a fundamental right of thought and expression, is not a gift, but a cherished birthright. Your right to freedom of expression is not a gift from Kamla. It's not a gift from Guevara. It's not a gift from anyone. It is your birthright that is set out in our Constitution, and that is what we're dealing with. He goes on to say, giving voice within the contours of respect for the rights of others and having it heard gives life to the inclusivity of democratic life. The inclusivity of democratic life. Each and every one of you has a right to participate in the democratic life of this country. The government wants, you know what they want? They want you to keep quiet. Let them go and thief and raid the treasury, and you must suffer and you must say nothing. Will we allow that? The judge goes on to say and speak about Woodford Square. And listen to this. Under the present regulation, none of you could go by yourself, take a placard and stand up in Woodford Square. None of you. You are prevented from doing that under the regulations as they exist. And here is what our Court of Appeal says about Woodford Square. Ironically, Woodford Square itself, which sits across the Red House, is a powerful historical symbol in our country, well known as the People's Square. It is our public space of debate and is the symbol of free speech. It lies between our parliament and the Hall of Justice in our capital city. No better juxtaposition of the importance of free speech and the role of the court to protect it exists. The People's Square is a space mirroring the public debates in Parliament. The People's University, an expressive free zone in Woodford Square, is well known as a sacred ground for the free expression of thoughts and expression. Indeed, it has been described as the University of Woodford Square. And at this university, it brought political education to the people of the West Indies. Can or are you going to allow this government from stopping you from going in Woodford Square? In another paragraph of the judgment, the judge goes on to highlight what is said by our Caribbean Court of Justice in relation to freedom of expression. And he quotes from the Chief Justice of the Caribbean Court of Justice, Justice Saunders. And Justice Saunders in another case said this: freedom of expression conduces to the enhancement of our democratic values. It is a necessary condition for the effective pursuit of truth. It heightens the ability of the citizenry fully to participate in making decisions. By being able freely to ventilate grievances, a healthy social pressure valve is created and utilized. And listen to this. The Caribbean Court of Justice, Chief Justice says this: if this valve is clogged or its use denied, the result could be violent and dangerous expression. The government is playing with fire, and they need to stop it. We cannot allow this to continue. I heard the Prime Minister say, describing the protesters, that they were grifters. You know what grifters are? A circus sideshow. That is what the Prime Minister is saying about citizens of this country in public. If she's describing your fellow citizens like that in public, can you imagine what they're saying about our citizens in private? Can you imagine? In relation to the manner of protest, I heard one police officer in a video when there was the protest outside the DPP's office say, you know, they were chanting and you can't chant. Where has he been for the last 63 years of our independence? The unions have led labor in this country through chanting. Chanting is a very important part of the way we protest. Here is what Justice of Appeal Kokaram said about the manner of protest, which is allowed under our Constitution. Protest in general involves the physical presence of the protester or protesters where the protest takes place, the conveying of information, attempts at persuasion, and pressure on the subject of the protest. To these ends, protesters will seek to draw attention of their immediate or wider audience to perceive public mischiefs. The Prime Minister said that they were doing what? Publicity farming, right? That is what she says. Well, getting publicity for your cause is a fundamental part of protesting. So what nonsense is she talking? Protesting activity in or within view of a public place would normally be thought to have a greater impact on public opinion than a more passive approach, especially if it generates media attention. You can't tell us to move 500 feet away from the parliament because we want to be by the parliament and we want them to hear what we're saying. Are we going to insist that we be allowed to protest in the way our Constitution allows us? I see that my time is up. But before I go, let me leave you two short quotes from Martin Luther King on freedom and protesting. And Martin Luther King Jr. said, quote, "Freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed. Freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed. And our lives, listen to this one, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter." Think about that. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. I thank you very much. God bless every one of you, and God bless our nation.
Thank you, Senator Larry Lala. And I know we could stand here and sit here and listen to a lot more of his very brilliant discourse. But ladies and gentlemen, we must move on because we have a lot of powerful speakers as this crowd thickens. And ladies and gentlemen, we have our next speaker, a distinguished educator and former government minister. She represents the voice of powerful women in the People's National Movement. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the PNM's Lady Vice Chair, National Women's League Chair, Member of Parliament for St. Anne's East, Dr. Nian Gasti Dolly.
Take my people with me.
So we are going to Brandy home. People of Sawa, people of Santa Cruz, people of Barataria, who is here from Laventille, who is here from St. Joseph, who came from South, from Port of Spain area. We are here tonight in solidarity. If you are standing in solidarity to protect our democracy, let me see those hands in the air. We're not here for violence. We are here for peace. We are here for democracy. We are here for freedom. And we are here for knowledge. Because without knowledge, our people perish. I want to start you off with a quote, and I want you to remember this. People get used to anything. Say that with me. People get used to anything. The less you think about your oppression, the more normal it seems. You understand what I'm saying? The less you think about your oppression, the more normal it seems. The political leader of the PNM is here. The executive of the PNM is here. And you, the people of Sawa, Laventille, St. Joseph, El Socorro, Aranguez, you are here. And why are you here? Because we're not going to get used to living in a lawless dump. Are you going to accept as normal living under SOE? No. Is that normal? No. That ain't normal at all. Are you going to get used to living in hardship? How many of you lost your jobs? How many of you living in hardship now since April the 28th of last year? You're going to get used to that? Don't get used to that, you know. Don't get used to the UNC, you know, because the PNM here and we come in. If there is hope in Trinidad and Tobago, it is because the PNM is alive and well, and we will continue to fight and advocate for you. The Balize don't die. The PNM might be a little bit down right now, but we're not out. Don't ever count us out. Look for us. When you see the smoke, the fire coming behind. People, we will perish for lack of knowledge. And I want to read something for you. When you have knowledge, nobody could pull wool over your eye. Nobody can piss in the sky and tell you it is. 64 years ago, we became an independent nation. 64 years ago. And at that time, the father of this nation, Dr. Eric Williams, said some words that could be seen as prophetic. And I want to read a little bit of that for you. Because without knowledge, we will perish. I want you to listen to the words of Eric Williams. And that is why, when we look at what is happening in our country, we have to be able to understand when things happen. When Kamala said, load up the matic, it was for a reason. And when we have knowledge, when we have that foresight, we could understand things. When we saw the cancelling of Independence Day 2025, we should have understood that as the start of something serious in this country. Serious, and there was a reason why Independence Day was attacked. And let me tell you why. Listen to the words of Eric Williams, Dr. Eric Williams, father of this nation, 64 years ago. He said, what will you make of your independence? The first responsibility that devolves upon you is the protection and promotion of your democracy. What responsibility? The last responsibility? The first responsibility, the protection of your democracy. He said democracy means recognition of the rights of others. It means equality of opportunity. It means the protection of the weak against the strong. It means the obligation of the minority to recognize the right of the majority. He said 64 years ago that democracy means the responsibility of the government to its citizens, the protection of the citizens from the arbitrary power and the violation of human freedoms and individual rights. 64 years ago, like Eric Williams, he put on those dark shades, but like he was seeing forward to 2026. And he was seeing that time where under the UNC we have been living under a perpetual state of emergency. It seems that with those dark shades, he was looking forward and seeing that a day would come in this country where our Independence Day celebration would be cancelled. With those dark shades, Dr. Williams was looking forward and seeing a time in this country where the right to protest would be stifled. Without knowledge, our people will perish. But there is hope. You know why I feel hopeful? Because I see young people coming out and standing up. I see young Alyssa Phillip making her cry for justice. And that gives me hope. It gives me hope. Because you see, since we became independent, and since we have brought the UNC back, we are under perpetual SOE. You remember this also? You remember this also that they tried? You remember watching the Mashgra and seeing Helon Francis Mike muted? You see my jersey good? I want you to watch it. Censorship equals dictatorship. And that is where we are. We see the refusal of the Prime Minister to account to the people. When last has the Prime Minister stood up in front of the media and gave account to the people of this nation that elected her 1 year ago? When last? Is that democracy? Is that accountability? Is that transparency? Do we deserve better than that? We deserve better than that. And if we deserve better than that, we cannot keep our voices silent. I want to read something else for you. Today, I looked at the papers and I saw a young man on the board of NAPA resigned. How many of you saw that? Trevon Jogmahanis was reported resigned. And I want to tell you what he said, why he resigned from the board of NAPA. He said that he was deeply saddened by the cancellation of last year's Independence Day celebration. And if you look sharp, people of Sawa Laventille, if you look sharp, what would happen again? He said the final catalyst, the straw that break the camel back, was the deployment of heavily armed tactical officers against citizens engaged in peaceful protests. He's a young man. He's a regular citizen. But he is doing what he has to do to get his voice heard. So what must we do? Must we sit down in silence and fear? Must we be afraid to echo our sentiments of displeasure against a government that is creeping towards authoritarianism? Must we be afraid to speak out against the creeping dictatorship that we are seeing? We must not be afraid. Our voices matter. And what we say matters. A government is put there by who? A government is put there by who? And in the same way you put a government there, it's the same way it could be removed. So you see here tonight, this is the smoke. And I want to tell the government that we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we will not be quiet. And we will not be silent. And we will not allow them to turn our country into any lawless dump. And we will not be ruled under an SOE for the rest of our days in Trinidad and Tobago. The time of reckoning will come. And when that time comes, we will speak in the best way that we know how to speak. So I want to tell our citizens, when you feel hopeless, and when you feel like if there's nothing that can change the direction we're going in, always remember that God appoints and God takes down. Always remember there is a God. And God is in control. And there is a PNM. And the PNM is right here waiting to lead this country once again under our next Prime Minister, Pennelope Beckles Robinson. Have hope, Trinidad and Tobago. Have hope. Raise your hands, raise your candles in solidarity. Because great is our God. Great is Trinidad and Tobago. And we will prevail. God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Nian Gatsby Dolly, such a powerful voice within the People's National Movement, powerful woman in the People's National Movement, ladies and gentlemen. We move forward into our program, and I want to invite our next speaker, who is a fearless advocate for democracy and freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, the chairman of the People's National Movement and Member of Parliament for Aruca Lopino, Mr. Marvin Gonzalez. Thank you very much, Viash. Political leader of the People's National Movement and leader of the opposition, members of Parliament in the lower house and in the upper house, executive members of the People's National Movement, my colleague from St. Anne's East, the Honorable Dr. Nian Gatsby Dolly, Member of Parliament for St. Anne's East, members of the People's National Movement, and most importantly, fellow citizens of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a short, but it feels like a very long journey from April the 25th or 28th last year to this year. But where we have found ourselves in 2026, we did not find ourselves here by chance. Because, ladies and gentlemen and fellow citizens, the signs have been there. Because when the people of Trinidad and Tobago elected this government to power, they attacked the working class in Trinidad and Tobago by firing over 60,000 workers. We did not take to the streets. We did not raise our voices in objection. And by so doing, the government believed that they could do whatever they want with the people of Trinidad and Tobago because they have no consequences to their brutal action against the poor and the working citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And when they got away with that, they canceled our independence parade. And we allowed them to do that without raising our voices in objection to what they are doing. When they did that, they attacked workers in HDC. They attacked workers in the utility sector. They attacked workers all over Trinidad and Tobago. And then they realized that they could have gotten away. And there was no objection and there are no consequences to what they were doing. After that, they attacked our Calypsonians. They muted their mics. And there was no real objection to what they were doing. And after that, they attacked the opposition in the parliament. That when we filed questions for the government to come and answer on behalf of you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and when we filed questions against the Prime Minister, so that she can come and account to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, so that she can give an account to our stewardship, we were shut down. Over 90% of our questions were removed, and the Prime Minister not being allowed, and there were no consequences, ladies and gentlemen. They lied to you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, by saying that there were threats against senior law enforcement officers and members of parliament. And perpetually since they have attained office in this country, we have lived under a state of emergency. And today, Not one person was arrested for the so-called threat against senior law enforcement officials. Not one person was arrested and charged for any threat against members of the judiciary or members of the government. And they came back to Parliament and they extended states of emergency and states of emergency. And they recognized that they can do it without any consequences to their action. And despite us raising our voices in the Parliament and out of Parliament, they said, to hell with all of you, we will do as we please. We will use our majority in the Parliament and we will rule this country as we please, regardless of how and whatever you say. Today in Trinidad and Tobago, the regulations and the state of emergency are not being used to protect you because they were never intended to protect the people of Trinidad and Tobago. They were always intended to be utilized and to be weaponized to hold you in suppression so that they can do as they please in every corner in this country. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we want to remind the United National Congress and the Prime Minister that power does not belong to you and your party. Power belongs to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And as we give it, we can take it. And we are ready to take back power from the hands of a revengeful and wicked government that we put in power to manage our affairs. Ladies and gentlemen, as Dr. Nayan said, we have a responsibility as citizens of this country to protect our rights and freedom. Democracy does not only reside in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. And as they try to suppress the opposition in the Parliament, and as they pass laws and regulation to prevent the voices from being heard around the Parliament, around the police headquarters, around the diplomatic center, around the DPP's office, around the Ministry of Finance, we are telling the government tonight that we are prepared to take to the streets, and we are starting here in the Kweze, and we will go to every community in Trinidad and Tobago. We will go to every streets. We will march on the bus routes. We will march on the highways. We will march in the byways. We will go to every community. We will go in the east. We will go in the west. We will go in the north. We will go in the south. We will go in central. We will go in Tobago. And we will prosecute you. We are not afraid of you because power belongs to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Power does not only rely and reside in the Commissioner of Police office. Power does not only rely in the Parliament. Power does not only reside in the Prime Minister's office. Power lives on the streets and in the hearts of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. It belongs to all of us. And we will ensure, ladies and gentlemen, that the power that we repose in this government will not be used to desecrate public office and will not be weaponized against the people of Trinidad and Tobago. No emergency regulations will suppress the freedom that we fought hard for over 64 years in this country. No state of emergency is going to keep us in suppression because we were born out of slavery. We were born out of indentureship. We were born out of struggle, and freedom resides in our belly, and no state of emergency is going to take that away from us, ladies and gentlemen. And therefore, I call upon all citizens. It does not matter if you support the People's National Movement. All we want is patriotic citizens to come forward and take ownership for this country. Take ownership for our future. I call upon all young citizens that freedom did not come easily. And when it comes, it requires resistance, and it requires fighting battles every single day so that it can be maintained. Today, this country is at a juncture where our young people are required to come forward and take ownership for Trinidad and Tobago.
This country belongs to you. It does not belong to Kamla Persad Bissessa. It does not belong to the United National Congress. It belongs to you, the young people of Trinidad and Tobago, and you are called upon here tonight in the Kweze in San Juan to take back freedom from your hands and restore sanity to the people of Trinidad and Tobago and restore sanity to our democracy. And very soon, the government has served its intention to go back to the parliament to extend the state of emergency to hold us in suppression. Tonight, we wish to serve notice to the government that we have already assembled our team of attorneys who will be prepared to go to the court and file a constitutional motion to bring an end to this unlawful and unconstitutional state of emergency in Trinidad and Tobago. Enough is enough, because this was done in Jamaica, and the courts of Jamaica ruled that you cannot have a state of emergency and a rolling state of emergency to control crime and lawlessness in Jamaica. And the courts in Jamaica have ruled that using state of emergency to fight crime is unconstitutional, and it is against the constitutional and the constitution and the freedom of the people of Jamaica. Our sister country Jamaica and their courts have all ruled that to use a state of emergency as the government of Trinidad and Tobago is using today is unconstitutional. And the People's National Movement, standing in defense of democracy, standing in defense of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we will go to the courts and we will file the appropriate action and bring an end to this unlawful, to this regressive, this brutal, and this unconstitutional state of emergency in Trinidad and Tobago. It is time for the Prime Minister to come out of hiding. It is over 1 year she is in hiding. She has not appeared before a post-cabinet news conference. It is time to call for the removal of Alexander, who is a disgraceful Minister of Homeland Security. It is time to call for the removal of Wayne Sturge, who came into power by being funded by drug traffickers and drug dealers. The security of Trinidad and Tobago cannot reside in the hands of disgraceful people like Roger Alexander, like Philip Alexander, like Anil Roberts, and that whole bunch of misfits. We have to chase them out of office. One day, their end will come. The longest rope has an end, and their end is sure to come, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep our fires burning. Let's keep our candles burning, because in our belly resides our hope for freedom in Trinidad and Tobago. And as the people went to the polls and put Kamla Persad Bissessa in the government of Trinidad and Tobago, the people of Trinidad and Tobago just 1 year are saying, we have had enough. We have had enough. You have disgraced us. You have disgusted us. And your time has come. The longest rope has an end. Get out of power. Enough is enough. Power belongs to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. May God bless you. May God bless Trinidad and Tobago. Long live the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Forward ever, backward never. We will not surrender. Trinidad and Tobago belong to all of us. May God bless you. God bless Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Blessed be unto thee.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chairman of the People's National Movement, Mr. Marvin Gonzalez. Ladies and gentlemen, as I look out in the sea of white, it is very inspiring. I see the flames in the distance, the national flag floating high in the air. And you all are true patriots here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to introduce our featured speaker here tonight, to address you all, you massive crowd of patriots who are fearlessly here, standing in solidarity to defend our democracy. This featured speaker is someone who has a distinguished career in public service and law, serving our nation with integrity, resilience, and a deep commitment to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, as leader of the opposition and the first female political leader of the People's National Movement, she has distinguished herself as a fearless advocate for the people of Trinidad and Tobago, standing in defense of our rights, our freedoms, and this country's democratic principles. She is unwavering in her commitment to the people of Trinidad and Tobago and is unshaken in her courage and strength, leading the way in defense of our democracy, whether it is inside of the parliament, outside of the parliament, or right here in Sawa in the Kwesi. Ladies and gentlemen, we have heard about the state of this country right now, but the Bible speaks of Esther as a woman of profound courage, who fearlessly walked into the halls of power to change the direction of our people. Ladies and gentlemen, Penny Beckles, Penny for the people, is the leader, is the only leader who will take us out of this crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming, the leader of the opposition, the political leader of the People's National Movement, and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Pennelope Beckles Robinson.
Sending prayers for those who suffer in silence. Grant them wisdom, cures, clarity and guidance. I pray for the young and I pray for the old. Cover their minds, Lord, don't let them lose control. Though we stand in sin, no transgressions are many. Thank God for the life that He gave me. To all you who doubting and losing faith, time to congregate, no time to separate. I'm calling on the prayer warriors in the country. Come for Tobago need we, cause I say Trinidad need a blessing. Tobago need a blessing. Tobago need a blessing. Amen. Trinidad need a blessing. Tobago need a blessing. Tobago need a blessing. Amen. Life is getting hard for money.
So, listen. All you know, they didn't want us to have this vigil tonight. All you know, they didn't want us to have this meeting tonight. They don't understand the power of the PNM. They don't understand the power of the people. Tomorrow is Corpus Christi. Tomorrow is the day when you have the opportunity to plant something and to see it flourish and grow and to have a harvest. Trinidad and Tobago, we're going to have a harvest. And sometimes you have to distinguish between some seeds that you have to move away. And you have to make sure that when you plant certain seeds, it's going to grow. The PNM is rebuilding. We are growing. We're going to have our harvest. And we are going to return to the powers. We are going to return to the corridors of power. And I tell you, just wait. You see all the way to the side here? Come in the front. Let them know about the power of the people. They feel they could have stopped us here tonight. They don't understand. I am talking about a party that is celebrating 70 years today. 70 years this year. 70 years. You know what it is to celebrate 70 years? When you're celebrating 70 years, you know, the Bible speaks about 70. And it has something called jealousy. You see that building on Tranquility Street called Balize House. You see that flower called the Balize? She gone in the parliament and she telling that Balize House bill of a drug money. We have the deed for Balize House. We have the deed for that piece of land. I wonder what deed Kamala have. Huh? What deed the UNC have? They have a building at all? Let me just say thanks to all of you for coming out here tonight. Matthew 5 verse 9 says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God." Shamari, how are we talking? Yes. It is important for you to understand. You see what we're wearing tonight? White. We understand the importance of peace, but we also understand the power of silence, and we understand there's a time to speak. Yes, now is the time. I want to share with you that this Kamala Prasad Bisesa. Let me tell you something about Kamala Prasad Bisesa. Now, you know, some people calling for a day to stay home. And if you read the Express today, Kamala Prasad Bisesa is saying to all, they want to protest, protest. All you read it? You want to protest, protest. You want to shut down the country, shut down the country. But remember, at the end of the month, you have bills to pay. What is she really telling you? It's more than that. It's more than that. It's a threat. You know, as Marvin just said, this woman loves to threaten people. You know, it's like somebody in the house and they want to come in, come in. Down in the Philippines, hiding. Since she became the prime minister, she want to cuff down him boat. She want to load up the matic. She want to take away your visa. She want to take away your work. But the time coming. Let me say something to you all, and I want you to listen to me carefully. When a government who claims to love people, remember her? I love you. Remember the love and the sympathy and the compassion? And they tell you, yeah, yet you're good in office. But you will make legislation and you will tell people these places you cannot go. Could you believe that? Now you ask me, I want to ask the people of Tobago, what it is in A&R Robinson Airport that they want you to protest. They don't want you to go Piaco. They don't want you to go by the parliament. They don't want you to go by the Ministry of Finance. I mean, they don't want you to go by the diplomatic center, but she's not living there. So if you went, as in previous years, to carry a petition for the Prime Minister by her residence, you will meet nobody. Nobody lives there. But 500 meters away. And listen, the Prime Minister, together with some trade union movements, formed a coalition, and they were able to ensure that the UNC got into office. You all read the papers today? The Prime Minister is telling the trade union movement, what you should be doing is seeing about benefits for your members. So the Prime Minister does not even recognize her partners that were responsible for her getting into office. So you know what they're telling her now? They're going to court. The same prime minister who talked about shutting down a country. Because let me tell you what she said in 2018. In 2018, opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar called on citizens to stay home and rest and reflect. I'm waiting patiently to hear what is her response to the people who want Trinidad and Tobago to stay home. You see, let me tell you something. You see this thing called when you either have a bad memory or no memory at all, it has caused them to say those kinds of things. So there it is. It is important for you to remember that it is normal. It is normal for people to protest in front of the parliament. As a matter of fact, if you're a politician and you can't take pecan, and you can't pass in front of the parliament and take pecan, you shouldn't be a politician. And if it is, when the budget is presented in the parliament, and the trade unions and civil society and the farmers come in front of the Ministry of Finance to protest, imagine, they don't want people to go in front of the Ministry of Finance to protest. But if you have a 2x4 budget, a fake and a fraudulent budget, that is why you wouldn't want people in front of the Ministry of Finance. So I want you all, because you know, when a government threatens its citizens every day and keeps warning you about what you say on your phone, when they're threatening social media activists, and they want to threaten politicians, it is dictatorship. And we need to wake up people. What is interesting, the United National Congress that was founded by Basdev Pandey. Yes, Pandey shame. A trade union activist. A man that marched all over Trinidad and Tobago. But he ended up with somebody. I mean, we understand that she can't really march. But if you can't march, and if you can't walk, and if you can't run a 5K, don't stop nobody. And if it is you want to run the country from your house in the Philippines, don't stop Trinidadians and Tobagonians from even a peaceful protest, because they don't want no kind of protest. And it is time we let the UNC know what time of day it is. Tonight, as you hold your candles and we do our peaceful vigil, I want you to remember these persons. Shamaya Jada Mutilal. She was 14 years old. Angelo Tobias Plaza, 2 years old. Akini Kafi, 23 months old. Killed in his father's car while his father was running a daycare and caring for other people's children. Yana Armstrong, 9 years old. Lady Young Road, she was in a car. And also another 9-year-old. They were children, our children. Children whose parents sang to them. Tonight, we remember them. We remember every child, every young person, every woman. We think of every parent who lost a child, because that is what tonight is all about. Tonight is for you to remember that we have a government who has been marketing that crime only takes place in PNM constituencies. But no later than 2 weeks after Wayne Sturge was boasting in the parliament that the murders only taken in Port of Spain, Sound, Laventille East, and Laventille East Mover. You see, the Lord don't sleep. Because we are sorry for the victims and the people who died. But the Lord had to remind them, don't lie. Don't lie. So you had a triple murder down south. And you had a double murder down south. And almost, yes, and in Penal, 7 persons being killed in less than 24 hours. And the double murder occurring right in the constituency of the Prime Minister. Because they would have you believe that it's only in PNM constituencies that crime takes place. Crime don't have no color. Crime has no race. Crime, when a criminal decide that he want to come for you, he don't know about the boundaries, whether you're in Laventille East or whether you're in Separia. You feel a bullet has a boundary. You feel a bullet knows whether the victim is UNC or PNM. But this government wants you to believe that. But the fact is, when UNC win, nobody winning. So what did they promise us? Because, you know, as I go to the market, whether it's Tunapuna, Port of Spain, Arima, it's the same cry. Everybody want to know, Miss Beckles, Penny, MP, how long again under this government? All you asking the same question? Jobs gone, higher taxes, higher fines, and this state of emergency. Do you all believe they're coming to extend it again? Yes. You all believe we having any independence parade this year? I pause for a little drink. Water. This is a government that has promised you ham, lamb, and jam. They promised you 500 houses a week. I'm asking any one of you here get a house. This government has tried to convince you to vote for them and to tell you the PNM do nothing and they will do everything. But what did they do to you? CPEP, everybody gone home. URP, everybody gone home. Reforestation, everybody gone home. Up to yesterday, they sent home people from HDC. And if you have a contract, they're not renewing the contract. So, my friends, when we come here tonight, and we come here in peace, they want to give you the impression that certain people want to do video and live, and they want to threaten and they want to tell you they're coming here to cause confusion. We will have none of it because we are here in peace. The People's National Movement, we are concerned about you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. We are concerned that you have no jobs. We are concerned that if you go to the market, Sawa, Tunapuna, a lot of the vendors are telling you that their goods, the goods rotting, nobody to buy. We are concerned, the PNM is concerned that you cannot pay your mortgage. We are concerned that you are unemployed. We are concerned that you cannot buy books and you cannot buy the basic food to eat. We are concerned that this government is only for themselves. And as we gather here today, I want to use the opportunity to say to all of you, local government election is fast approaching. I'm not leaving this platform without reminding you, do not make the same mistake twice. They will come again, like they did in La Hoqueta, and they will offer you fridge, they will offer you microwave, they will offer you bed, they'll offer you money. For me, my mother always used to tell me to have good money and bad money. So you see me, I can't take bad money. But I want to say to all of you, be careful what they give you and be careful what you take. Be careful what you take. So when they come waving all sorts of things, you have a choice. And if you decide to take it, make sure and vote for the People's National Movement. The last thing I want to talk about before I leave here, I want to talk about this government's disrespect for our national instrument. I cannot leave here without reminding you that this government is yet to pay the pan players. This government is yet to pay the people from Best Village since last year. This government is yet to pay a lot of the contractors from Flavor. This government has a reputation of paying everybody late or not paying them at all. Now they have a new program called UNOPS or something. And they're not even paying their own people money. So, folks, let me just say this, Fear not. It is a difficult time that we are going through. And it is very hard as the People's National Movement, as a member of parliament, so many of my colleagues are here tonight, for you to come to our offices. And we know it's not easy for you to come and say, Ms. Beckles, I want a hamper. I want some groceries. It is very hard for you to come and say, the landlord put me out. It is very hard for you to come to our offices because you know that you may not have had everything you wanted, but you were able to pay your bills, you were able to go to the grocery, you were able to send your children to school, but under this government is pressure, pressure, and more pressure. So, when we find ourselves, I ask you, how did we find ourselves here? Teachers protesting, nurses protesting, maxi-taxi people protesting. It is because within 1 year, the people of Trinidad and Tobago have discovered that they have the wrong party in power. Do you all agree with that? And we have to do something about it. So we are not going to, tonight must not be a night where you hold this candle and when you leave and you go home, you forget about the UNC. Tonight is very important for you to continue to reflect on where this government has brought Trinidad and Tobago. This is the worst government that we have in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. The worst government. And if you believe me, put up your candle. This is a government who does not know how to run this country. This is a government, and every time I say it, if you believe me, put up your candle. This government have no plan for crime. This government government can't run this country. This government have us under pressure. It's time for this government to go. It's time for Kamala to go. It's time for the People's National Movement to return to office. Great is the PNM. Great is God. Great is the PNM. And we shall prevail. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the leader of the People's National Movement. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause again and show your support for the Honorable Pennelope Beckles Robinson. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to invite to the front again the political leader, the leader of the opposition, as well as Dr. Nian Gatsby Dolly, as they symbolically light their candles in solidarity. Ladies and gentlemen, please raise your candles as we all stand in solidarity in defense of our freedoms, in defense of democracy, and in defense of Trinidad and Tobago.
Run through the darkness, seek out the hopeless, deceived and poor. Hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle, go light your world. Take your candle, go light
we're gonna walk it out and move mountains. We're gonna walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again. Yes, I'll rise up, high like the waves. I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I'll rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you. When the silence isn't quiet,
And ladies and gentlemen, the
feels
political
like it's
leader
getting
and
hard
members
to
of parliament are making their
Now
way
you
through the
feel
crowd
like
to join you in this candlelight
promise
vigil
will take the world
in
and bring it to
solidarity
its feet.
with you and in defense of democracy.
Mountains, we'll bring it to its feet and move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again. I'll rise up, high like the waves. I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I'll rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And all we need is hope. For that we have each other. Yes, for that we have each other. And we will rise, we will rise, we will rise. High like the waves, I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I will rise 1,000 times again. Yeah, I'll rise up, high like the waves. I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I will rise 1,000 times again. For you, I will rise 1,000 times again. Oh, for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the enchanting and beautiful voice of Miss Nikita Gatsby. I want to thank you all for coming out here to this public meeting and this candlelight vigil, ladies and gentlemen. And we invite you to join us as the political leader is making her way through the crowd. Miss Pennelope Beckles Robinson and members of parliament, thank you all for coming out. Thank you all patriots for coming out, standing in defense of democracy, standing in defense of freedom, standing in defense of Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you all, and please reach home safely.
Move, Satan, move, let me pass. Move, Satan, move, let me pass. I am on my way, safe and sanctified. Move, Satan, move, let me pass. down in the valley and talk to Jesus. Go down in the valley and talk to Jesus. Jesus answers prayer. Go down in the valley and talk to Jesus. Go down in the valley and talk to Jesus. Go down in the valley and talk to Jesus. Jesus answers prayer. Tell me where you find Jesus. Calvary below. Tell me where you find Jesus. Calvary below. Walk and talk with sweet Jesus. Calvary below. Walk and talk with sweet Jesus. Calvary below. Tell me where you find Jesus. Calvary below. Tell me where you find Jesus. Calvary below. Walk and talk with sweet Jesus. Calvary below. Walk and talk with sweet Jesus. Calvary below.
My faith's been tested time and time again. But my spirit is determined to believe and to overcome life trials that seem to never done. But still, I kneel before you with a praying song. Lord, I come to pray for the strength and the faith that's required. I pray for my people to not lose their fire. I send in prayers for those who suffering in silence. Grant them wisdom, cures, clarity and guidance. I pray for the young and I pray for the old. Cover their minds, Lord, don't let them lose control. Though we stand in sin, our transgressions are many. Thank God for the life that He gave me. To all you who doubting and losing faith, time to congregate and no time to separate. I'm calling on the prayer warriors in the country. Love for trip, they gon' need me. God, I say, I need a blessing. Today gon' need a blessing. Today gon' need a blessing. Amen. Trinidad need a blessing. Today gon' need a blessing. Today gon' need a blessing. Amen. Life is getting harder to manage. Oh yeah. The plan you had for us, it's vanishing. Because the violence, Lord, the nation in distress. What's it gonna take? We need a rest. It's time that we repent and we confess. Cause Lord, I'm tired of the bloodshed and rising in numbers. Amen. I'm tired of the youth choose the part of plunder. Amen. Can't walk the street in peace is a problem. Father, intervene, please save your children. Amen. I'm tired and I'm worried and I'm feeling the pain. My faith's been tested time and time again. Oh, but my spirit is determined to believe and to overcome life trials that seem to never done. But still, I kneel before you with a praying song. Lord, I come to pray for the strength and the faith that's required. Amen. I pray for my people to not lose their fire. Amen. I send in prayers for those who suffering in silence. Amen. Grant them wisdom, cures, clarity and guidance. Amen. I pray for the young and I pray for the old. Cover their minds, Lord, don't let them lose control. Though we stand in sin, our transgressions are many. Thank God for the life that He gave me. To all you who don't and are losing faith, time to congregate and no time to separate. I'm calling on the prayer warriors in the country. Love for trip, they gon' need me. Cause I say, I need a blessing. Today gon' need a blessing. Today gon' need a blessing. Amen.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please enjoy yourself tonight. May God bless you, and please reach home safely. Good night.